Hello guys. Welcome to the Market Prep Show. Now, I need a bit of help here. You can see I've done a few changes. I need to know, is my mic working? I also need to know, am I lagging? Because if I start lagging, I need to turn down the frames a little bit. So do help me out with this and let me know, do you like the new tickers flicking across the top of the screen? It's something I always wanted to do, and you know what? My good friend Grok helped me put the tickers on top of the screen. So, yes, it works remote to again. Okay, so I am going to try something now, and let me know if it works. Tell me, does that work any better, my guy? Right, so great day for buying WHD. Big shout out, howdy boys. But at least Joby is still swimming around $10 and down a little better than the Dow Jones, a 7% drop. It was a bit of a strange one today, wasn't it? We had the likes of the sell-off, and it was all to do with not only Jerome Powell yesterday, but Israel struck a gas field in Iran. And the problem was there, apparently it was done without Trump's approval. Iran then fired back at Qatar, and I think last night they fired again at Saudi Arabia. So there was fear across the market. Now, you're going to wonder why there was a bit of relief then. It was because Israel then came out and said they are working to speed up the opening of the Strait of Hormuz and to end the war as soon as possible. The UK, Germany, France, I can't remember who else, have all put a joint statement out saying that they're condemning Iran's attack on international waters and they're willing to help out the US. They want them to comply under UN regulations because it is a law that you are allowed to travel in international waters. Now, I can see I'm still lagging a little bit. I may have to turn off the tickers on top, but we'll see how it goes. I leaned on Archer hard today. Just kissed the $5 range. It can't go too much lower. It showed how strong resistance was. Resistance, we got back above the $6 range, but just about 601. Do you know what actually surprised me? Horizon Aircraft did break that 180. Me being a little bit silly, didn't get in. To be fair, I wasn't actually looking at the markets too much today. But Horizon Aircraft did drop all the way down to 172, I believe. It could have went a little bit lower, but I seen a 172. Climbed to 179 at closing bell, and just as the bell closed, it went to 178. I actually thought it would get back to 180, but we live and we learn. AMPX is running up again, another 1% up, 19.11. Rocket Lab climbed 71.93. Interesting thing about Rocket Lab. So SpaceX are going to be merging with XAI. And once the IPO, the valuation of not just Rocket Lab, but even Firefly, ASTS, we all know the push for data centers in space now. And what's exciting me, Rocket Lab can actually build and deliver these data centers in space. I actually think IonQ could run a little bit on this too, because they acquired Capella Space as well. This track, big shout out, my guy. Guys, smash that like button as you get in here. We're going to try and grow it out. Actually, do let me know, what do we think of the Market Prep Show? I understand we might be lagging a little bit there. We'll clean it up a little bit to make it run a little bit smoother. But what do you think of Market Prep? Do you like these daily streams during the week? Or do I just go back to making videos as well? Have you read up on China's new eVTOL autoflight? It can seat up to 10 people. Autoflight actually done it. It can seat 10 people, but then if they go into the cargo variant, I think they can take 2 cargo containers as well. So it's definitely these are more heavy class eVTOLs. Now it looks quite slow, if you get me, and it looks fairly rigid. But at the same time, we can't dismiss what China are doing. If we look at EHang, they're actually starting to really push forward over in that Asian market. But would I get into EHang? I just have my doubts about EHang, but look, it is what it is. What are the odds Archer will perform commercial flights this summer? Very, 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 very slim chance. I'd actually put it at 0. The only commercial flights that they would have even attempt to have been running would have been in the UAE. And that ain't happening. Joby's ain't happening. There's no way they're going to go into the UAE now. Live is the best. Thank you, my guy. Actually, I might run a poll in a minute and we'll see what you guys want. Do you prefer live streams? Do you prefer videos? Do you like a mix of both? Then let me jump across. So Beta Technologies did go up 6% today, but look, we're still 50% down from the all-time high. But saying that across the whole industry is 50% down. We were speaking about that yesterday. Archer, Joby, Horizon Aircraft, Vertical Aerospace, they're all down 50%. So is it surprising Beta's down 50% from the IPO? No, but I think they have even more pressure because of the IPO and the lock-in. I just wouldn't go near Beta until the lock-in, and that's just on a financial side. I think they're a great company, but on the financial side, I think it'd be a silly investment. I think you'd be stuck in for a long time if you bought into Beta. No, could be wrong. Zeta, the one we were listening to yesterday, Gold Games brought it to us. Stay quite flat, 0.6%, 1723. What I might do, DJ Pooty Bear says, I lost 550, so you don't have to. 550 on Beta. What's that? I'd be incredibly careful about Beta. One of our followers, Wild Saddle, is extremely bullish on Beta, but even he has sold out 60% of his position. He's keeping 40% in, and then he's going to double down once the lock-in period is over. But yeah, I think Beta's a scary one at the moment. Drones are stealing the glitter right now. They really are, and I don't think I know it's all to do with the conflict happening in Iran. How did ONDS? We'll probably see up on top of the screen. Ondas Holdings, how do we do today? .74% down, but then climbed after hours. So it's holding that $10 range. Then UMAC. How do UMAC get on? Unusual Machines. Ooh, down 7.51% and then down an extra 6.61. Did they report earnings today? Or what happened there? Announces proposed public offering. Okay, so there was a dilution event that occurred with UMAC today. Let me see if I can bring it up on screen. It's going to completely tap out on me if I share it, is it? I don't know. We'll see. Well, that is not how I wanted to do it, but let me change that Archer Aviation podcast. This will get a lot smoother as we go along, but at the moment, it is quite rigid. So, today we had unusual machines. What have they done? A stock offering to expand its US drone parts inventory and for working capital and general corporate purposes. The offering is subject to market conditions, and there can be no assurance as to whether and when the offering is complete. I don't know, did they say how much or if they just proposed it. Someone come back to me if they can find how much Unusual Machines did do the public offering. Guys, this is Gainify. Anyone that isn't in or hasn't got software that, I'm not sharing my screen there. Anyone that hasn't got software to review stocks, Gainify is actually quite cool. You don't have to get the paid version. I've only just got the paid version because you can do forecasts on it. But it gives you a nice little overview of the company there. It tells you the peers a little bit about the company. You can use AI, etc. But then you can get into like key financials. You can draw up a few nice little graphs. I actually think it's quite cool. What I really like about it, you can actually look at when the likes of insiders are trading. So if we look at Ondas over the past 3 months, there was 5 insider sales, 4.78 million, and then in the last 3 to 6 months it was 5.72. But I actually do quite like this Gainify. I think it's very interesting. We've done it before on the likes of Archer and Joby, where we were able to see the selling occur. So if you look there in Q3 before the dilution, you got the likes of the inside, or no, it wasn't, it was the top investors. So look, so you're not really getting much selling. Within insiders, we did get a nice purchase about a year ago for 367.3 million. It's a quite nice tool. You can get all this on the free version. It's only the likes of the valuations and that it projects into the future, but I quite like it. Do let me know what you think about it. Then jumping across, have we got anything interesting today? Planet Labs actually smashed on earnings, so it's up 8.71% today, but and then it jumped up another 27.55% after hours. Planet Labs now at 34.40. Now I remember Planet Labs all the way back in the $3 range, and I remember when I was building my position in Rocket Lab that I was always interested in Planet Lab. What they do, it is observational satellites. Like, the only thing that I'm a little bit skeptical about them, they seem to be very like environmental focused, if you get me. So if I could bring up the video, what I might do a review on Planet Labs and you'll get exactly what I mean. So Planet Labs seems to have smashed earnings there. It's reporting there the after hours is 12:20, but I'm seeing here, 2 hours ago. So maybe it's dropped a little bit. If we look at the market cap is 9.2 billion. Price target is 24.71. I'd see that get increased over the next few days, and price to revenue is 24.36. Remember, guys, price to revenue is how much you're willing to invest for each dollar of revenue. Ondas was a real company. Red Cat and Unusual Machines are late to the party. Are you invested in the likes of Red Cat or unusual machines. I know loads of people for a while were interested in Red Cat, and it seemed to have died off a little bit. Ondas, like, guys, I can't go through my X without seeing something about Ondas recently. Big shout out to Oliver, by the way. Oliver's sending me socks. He reached out to me and he's sending me Joby socks. So a big shout out. Do let me know. Is it something you... Oh, look, I'm not sharing my screen again. This is going wild. Do you know what I'll do? I'll just share the whole window. There you go. So I'll go back up again. Oliver, big shout out if you don't follow him. He works at Joby and he's one great guy when it comes to the marketing. But yeah, X is such a nice place for information. And I might start streaming it because I know quite a few of you guys don't actually have X accounts. If you have, do smash the follow button on us. Look, again, Ondas. Everywhere I go, there's an Ondas post. But yeah, Planet Labs. What did they do? Expected revenue was 78.17 million and they smashed it 86.822 million. So they beat it by 11%. Earnings per share. Ooh, they're actually gone flat. So they did beat it by 100%. EPS up 100% over the year. Revenue up 41% over the year. And then revenue up 7% quarter by quarter. Guys, are any of you invested in Planet Labs? I know quite a few people have been fleeing to the space sector, especially now there's word of within the next few months SpaceX IPOing. Rhino, hi everyone. Did you pick up any Hoverdame? I did last week. I put 2 posts up on X. It was only a little bit. It was only what 66 shares, and 66 shares. I think I spent like 105 quid or something on each trade, but I should have bought more today. But again, I said I'm running out of powder in my portfolio. I got caught in my pants down and I didn't have a heap of cash on the side. I literally have around, it's probably a little bit less than 3k now, just sitting on the side. But yeah, I probably should have pulled the trigger today, but I wasn't really keeping an eye on the markets. Then I spoke to the owner of Red Cat. They just order drones from China and resell. Since tariffs hit, they can't even get them in stock. UMAC is just a parts reseller. Okay. I made a lot of Ondas last year, and the cycle will repeat this year. The only thing that worries me, I know Ondas also does a lot of, say, the railroad mapping and the communications, and they even monitor live events. But I do think a lot of this run is to do with the conflict. And what worries me is with de-escalation, would you get people rushing back out of the so-called defensive stocks? No, I could say the same thing, but I am confident in my rocket lab. I don't think people would be rushing out of that, and I actually think enough a catalyst before Neutron is the IPO of SpaceX. Like Rocket Lab, there 2 days ago was it signed their biggest ever launch deal, 190 million for 20 HASTE hypersonic accelerator suborbital test electron. So Rocket Lab's in a nice place. If escalation continues and the Department of War keeps wanting to throw money, Rocket Lab are going to snatch it up. If we just go back to commercial operations, it's going to smash it anyway. Yeah, I agree. Going live is better as you can keep it real. Who knows what kind of bloopers can happen to entertain. I admit I've got a natural genius about myself regarding bloopers. Do you know what? I think it is what it is, isn't it? I don't really care about making mistakes. It's one of those, I don't claim to be a specialist. I genuinely, someone's going to go on my X now that says eVTOL specialist. But yeah, I don't claim to be a specialist because at the end of the day, I'm just an average retail investor. And the thing is, I started this channel as an average retail investor, and I've just got talking to more and more people. And that way, you're able to build a stronger opinion on different stocks because you get to speak to the specialists, put it that way. And then I've just been blessed that I've been able to talk to a few CEOs along the way. But do you know what? I hope I'm the same person as when I started it 2.5 years ago. And it will remain the same. I actually started the account recently just for the stock market info. People are complaining about the X algorithm lately, that it's not great. One way to fix that, if you don't like a post, I'm not interested. Algorithm fixes pretty quickly. I'm actually quite happy with the algorithm at the moment. Does it sketch you out that Hover is a penny stock? Do you just manage small positions to maintain sanity? That's exactly what I do. So Hover is not only just a penny stock, it's a micro market cap. It's not even a small market cap. It's tiny. And they're pre-full-scale prototype. I've said it before, Archer and Joby are not competition to Horizon Aircraft. And again, Horizon Aircraft isn't competition to them. They're targeting two separate markets. Horizon Aircraft going city to city or regional travel, where Joby and Archer are going inside city, intercity. So, yes, we get many saying that the Cavra X7 is a better design than Archer and Joby, but yes, it's a better design for their use case. But for Archer and Joby's use case, their design is sufficient. And at the end of the day, as long as it's a safe design, I don't care whose is the best design. I care more about the amount of bums we put on seats and how much revenue we get. Because as an investor, it doesn't matter what the drag penalty is to me. Yes, someone's going to say for efficiency, but I would much rather them have a stronger operating business rather than too focused on drag penalties, etc. They do Homeland Security and Border Patrol. We need that more than ever. I completely agree with you. Also, infrastructure protection. Live streams are great to be able to say hey in real time. Big shout out. I have seen some of your comments on X back and forth to Dylan, so big shout out. If you jump in, I'll follow you back on X. If you jump into any of my posts, just comment underneath and I'll follow you back. Jonathan, big shout out. Got 5 more shares of Joby today. Also 2 NVIDIA and 20 Ondas. NVIDIA, have you seen what Jensen came out with? The $50 trillion market in robotics and $1 trillion in revenue. Then Elon backed him up and said that Tesla and SpaceX will continue to buy chips from NVIDIA. NVIDIA is just not stopping, is it? Do many of you invest in NVIDIA, or do you think the run has got extremely frothy? Well, I don't think it's frothy now. After Jensen talking last time, I really don't think. Will Uber be working with Joby? So Uber will be working with Joby. So Joby acquired Uber Elevate. They changed the name to Elevate OS. But on a separate note, Uber has now integrated the S4 into their app. and Joby into their app. So I don't know. People think I'm a little bit silly for this, but I think Uber Elevate or Elevate OS is going to become redundant. Because why? If you think these vertiports are in different parts of the city, yeah? So you need to be transported to the vertiport unless you're within walking distance. So if you get an Uber, why do you want to have a separate app to then fly on your S4 to then match it up with an Uber on the other side? Whereas when you book it with inside Uber, it does it seamlessly for you. So it's a win-win for both Joby and Uber. But then at the same time, I have no doubt in my mind that Archer Aviation and Beta Technologies will be an Uber too. Because think about it. If Archer Aviation are selling the midnight, they're not operating the midnight. So it's like you going out and buying a Toyota Corolla or a Honda Civic. Uber don't care what vehicle you're driving. They will if it's a Tesla full self-driving, but if you get me, they don't care. So you're going to have different companies operating and using the Uber app with a midnight. Yes, it's not directly with Archer Aviation or with Beta Technologies, but it doesn't need to be because that's not their business model. If you get me? Why aren't we hearing more on Archer Defense initiatives from Adam, or am I just not reading this? And why isn't the full potential of eVTOLs being discussed more, such as urban search and rescue? Okay, so I'll break it down into pieces. So when it comes to the defense initiatives, I think Pamela Lockheed deals with all of that. I think there's a bit of negotiations and the handshake that has been done that Andrew will get them contracts as they see fit. Adam has no power, I believe, in what contracts they're going for. It's an Andrew project. So it's hard to say, but if Andrew say jump, Archer say how high. So yes, we can put it like that, but then another way, confidential, like defensive contracts are confidential. You'll never hear, I don't know, Peter Beck speaking about massive defensive aspects of Rocket Lab. He'll talk about the HASTE program, but he won't go too far into what contract and what they're doing. They have to keep quiet. Then why isn't it full, or why isn't the full potential of eVTOLs being discussed more, such as urban search and rescue? So when it comes to Horizon Aircraft, I think they do an excellent job of reporting on the likes of search and rescue, such as Medivac, etc. Yeah. When it comes to Archer and Joby, we need to think their whole business plan has been around this commercial operations, around the air taxis. And we need to think about the amount they can actually produce. Because we can't say we're doing absolutely everything. We can say we have the ability to do everything. And it's like I've said with Archer versus Joby. I think Joby are more aligned with this commercial operations. I think Joby probably will dominate in that commercial space because that's their business. They want to take over. They want to saturate the market. But then I really don't think they want to get into deep water and defense. The vehicle's way too light. And people will laugh at me here, but the conventional takeoff and landing that everyone's been taking the mick out of Archer for is a benefit. So I don't think there's enough of a pull for Archer or Joby to be speaking about urban search and rescue. And we need to think about the outlay. So at the moment, they're using the likes of your helicopters, yeah? I don't know how much your average helicopter's worth. But for the amount of search and rescue that takes place over the year, is it beneficial for you to actually outlay another 5 million for the eVTOL for you then have to use an eVTOL rather than the helicopter? Like, yes, we can say about the benefits of it being quieter, but at the same time, if someone's doing a search and rescue for someone else, you won't hear many people give out. Once they are aware, you won't hear them give out about the sound of the helicopter, if you get me, on a moral high ground. Big shout out, this track. A new member. Big shout out. I want to start doing more things for the members. I have started doing some member-only live streams at the end of live streams. Myself and Dylan do a bit of a chat. You see the relaxed us. You can see that we're the same people on and off screen. Yes, you'll get me chilling out, might have a beer, etc. But no, we're the same people. But you can help steer the stream. Then that sounds like Expedia. Well, that's the way we like watching this. All your podcasts. Perhaps I'll eventually come up with an advantageous contributing comment. Something before this podcast ends. Ray, you're always here. I appreciate it. So, no, genuinely, comment whatever you like to an extent. But yeah. The idea of using a central app to coordinate with different companies, I mean, eVTOL would be a great addition to the life flight aspect of hospitals, keeping in line with medical transport. So Horizon Aircraft are really going down that route. Let me actually bring Horizon Aircraft's website up. So with the Cavra X7, they're really pushing down the Medivac route. Archer also, I don't know, do they have a memorandum of understanding in the UAE for medical transport? I can bring that up too, but let me, here we go. So, that's your Cavra X7. We haven't made the full scale yet, but they, I believe, will primarily be going for organ transport. We've heard Brandon, when he was live with us, say that a big part and a big benefit of the Cavra X7 would be for organ transport. Look, these can travel a lot faster than a helicopter. They're hybrid electrics. They're not fully electric. They're hybrid electric. They can take off vertically, take off horizontally, however you want, and then, again, land like a plane or a helicopter. Now, the problem with the Cavra X7, and I think they have readjusted their design. Everyone thought I was an idiot when I brought it to the stream one day, and I said, with the pilot on board and 2 emergency first responders with a bed on this side, how are you going to work around the patient? They've done a full redesign of the interior of the Cavra X7, and I think it's a lot better. I will be able to get the pictures for you now. I like that you recognize about hover search and rescue use case ability feature being of importance. Horizon Aircraft, I think that's the thing. Many people are trying to compare them to Archer and Joby, and we just need to forget about Archer and Joby when we're looking at Horizon Aircraft. Pretend we've never seen Archer and Joby before, because Horizon Aircraft are going for something completely different. It's like saying a bus versus a taxi. Maybe that's the wrong way. Or a boat versus a plane. They can get you from A to B, both the Midnight, the S4, and we can include the Cavra X7 there, but they're for different use cases. One is a lot more efficient and faster for better range, but then you won't see Cavra X7s doing air taxi trips inside the sea, because that's not what they're designed for. Brandon, a big thing about him, he is an ex-fighter pilot. So you know the contacts these guys have. And you know the type of money we're talking about when we get any sort of contract with the Department of War. It's hard to say the Department of War. I keep going to say the Department of Defense, but you know what I mean. Carteret Cruise is like 280 knots or so fastest among the eVTOLs. It really is. I can actually get specifications up here for you. Now, if we compare these ranges, none of these are correct. I don't believe, because this was all the way back in 2021 or 2023. I can't remember. Will it tell me here? I remember looking at it before, and that was the specifications of all these vehicles. Now, the Carteret X7 may have improved since then, but we're talking about speeds of 450 kilometers per hour. That is far superior than both Joby's S4 and the Midnight. Range, you're talking about 3 times the range, 800 kilometers. Useful payload, and this is where I believe it will improve as time goes on. It's not to do with the power of the ducted fans. What? Cheddar, I'm not going to read that out, and just please don't say things like that in the chat, because I will have to time you out, and I really don't want to. The power of them ducted fans, Brandon was saying, it can rip itself off the shaft when it's in testing mode inside the facility. I think the use of payload will be much further than 680 kilos, because I was speaking about the emergency first response and how heavy the equipment was with the emergency first response. Then when you take a pilot into consideration, when you take, say, 2 paramedics into consideration plus their equipment, and then the patient, it was coming out around the patient can be anything under, was it 90 kilos? And I was saying, how are you going to say to someone they've had a collision or they've had a heart attack, and you're going to say, well, you're not under 90 kilos, so I'm going to leave you where you are? It's not going to work. You won't see these coming around cities. And the reason why, I've said it before, even if you can vertically take off and land, say if you have a high-rise blocks, if someone is on the middle floor of the high-rise and they have, say, I don't know, had a heart attack, are you going to carry them up to the roof to get into the Carteret X7? And what if the roof is locked, etc.? Or you can bring them down the stairs, but who's going to close the road at the bottom of the stairs? And if you say the cops, well, if the cops have been able to get out there, like, the Carteret X7 is going to have to wait for the cops to get there and close the road. An ambulance would have been there in that time. So I don't think this will be around cities. I think it will be for the regional flights. And I think that's why you're not seeing the likes of Midnight or S4 come out and say they're going landing in cities for emergency first response. Because really, in reality, once the ambulance turns on the blues and twos, how much are you actually saving? Rolly Big Shot, again, question, is Hover being clever by letting Archer and Joby do the heavy lifting with the FAA certification? Hover being 2 years behind design. Okay. With Horizon Aircraft, I actually think by Joby and Archer coming out on this earnings call saying that certification is a lot further away than we originally anticipated, I think Horizon Aircraft is a lot closer to Archer and Joby when it comes to certification. But what excites you most about Horizon Aircraft, guys? Is it the defensive aspect because Brandon was in defense, or is it the commercial operations? Because if it's the defense side, we're not too worried about FAA certification yet. But yes, if it's to do with the commercial operations, the only thing I would kind of question a little bit, I love Brandon's idea of he would love these regional airports with no security, etc., and you can just walk in and it'll be back like the 1970s. But there's a reason we've progressed from the 1970s and we do have these security measures, is so there's no hijackings and stuff. So I can't see us laxing down the rules just because an aircraft's smaller, if you get me. Well, Saddle, big shout out, my guy, you're here. I'm a beta investor, and I hope it drops a lot since I want to buy a lot more shares. I don't think you'll be long waiting for it to drop, my guy. Dave says valuable info about beta holding period. While Saddle, I'll hold off for a little while. There's a misnomer that Midnight is the only craft that can use helipads and airports, but Beta's eVTOL can use either method to land. Well, Saddle, we were trying to actually look that up. Can it use both methods? Or to land it can, but to take off, can it? I believe it can to land, but can it take off on a and land by a glider? Sorry, guys, I've completely froze out though. I don't know what happened there, my guys. I really don't. I just had a complete glitch shot to restart the whole computer. So yeah, do let me know if you can hear me now. Well, Saddle, am I hosting the show now? Yes, you are, my guy. Michael, NASDAQ Tiger reported record revenue and profit for fourth quarter and full year 2025. Cycling growth in funded account base continued. Net assets inflow expanded products. While Saddle says both craft carry 5 passengers or 6 people, including the pilot. A notice about Horizon's aircraft design change of the windshield is become replaced by having 2 separate windshields, having a kind of nose bridge bone structure that can deflect a Canadian goose. That's interesting. I actually didn't know that. Hover's model is hybrid. Beta's hybrid, I believe, has a range of 1,000 miles. Not sure what happened to the speed. I know Vertical Aerospace hybrid model also has a 1,000-mile range too, so that would be superior to the Cavra X7. However, again, speed versus range. If we are going for the likes of organ transport, the speed is probably a lot more beneficial than an extreme range. Look, when we're talking 800 kilometers versus 1,000 miles, yes, there is about 500 kilometers in it, but I don't think it'd be too much of a panic. A nice thing wild about Beta technology as well is they have that charging cube that can actually go on board the aircraft, and they can have a quick top up along the way. Yes, told you, bloopers. Well, it is what it is. I'm a person. We love to see it. At least it's all natural. You know, it's not AI. Do you know when I first started streaming? Or not when I first started streaming, when I first started YouTube, I was getting loads of hate saying that I was AI. And I don't know where that came from. I think it was during the whole burst of AI coming along out of nowhere. And was it that people just weren't as comfortable anymore coming on screen? I don't know. But yeah, I'm not AI. You can see I'm not AI. Let me double check something now. It's completely logged me out of everything. I will be able to get all my graphs and everything back up on the screen in 2 seconds. Guys, what type of buys did you go in today? Did you get in anything tasty? Also, let me know. Let me just run a poll here quickly, guys. Right, done a poll there. Do you like new tickers on the screen? Also, do let me know. Jump into the comments. What tickers would you like to see added to this? Hopefully, I think we've coded it correctly. We should be showing the after hours as well. And I believe anything that is in black is the after hours. So the likes of Horizon Aircraft for some reason is not showing the after hours. But do let me know. eVTOL's down below $4. They're like 90% off their IPO. It's gonna be a long time for their back of their IPO, my guy. I'm telling you. And Goat Gains have been saying it. I don't think it's a coincidence that Archer gone into Bristol and under that project next, and then they put the lawsuit out about Vertical Aerospace. I think they're going to acquire them. I really think they're trying to beat them down before they acquire them. That's my opinion. I don't know that, but that is my opinion. I deep 6 the chart, but make the text larger. Okay, I'm going to attempt to do that if I can, but I don't know, does it go blurry? Is that any better for you? Do you prefer it like that? They're a bit hard to read. Or the little charts for the day. Yeah, so these, let me double check against them. They are showing the live prices, but I am unsure whether they're showing the after hours. Look, isn't it great, guys? It's like learning on the job. We get to do it together. We get to go through the mistakes together. We get to grow together. I love it. And look, if it all goes tits up, you're here to experience it. Right, so let me get one. Joby finished the day at 996. Yes, it's not showing the after hours. I'll correct that so it'll show the after hours as well. Ray says that's a good size for reading. That's how you know it's real. I know it's disappointing, isn't it? Yes, that's better. Thank you. Look, you've helped me there, improved the show a little bit. Who said no? They don't like the tickers on the screen. You always get one absolute melon, don't you? Any poll I put up, I always put a ridiculous answer in it too, because I know the clowns will just get baited into pressing it. And what they don't realize, anytime I say, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? And then I put a silly response in too, and they press it, it just pushes me out in the algorithm. They think they're trying to upset me, but it just pushes me out further and further. It's like when people don't like my videos. We've one clown, and I know exactly who it is, who searches us up, and every single video, they don't just download the video, they watch the whole video, and then they don't like it. But all you're telling YouTube is you're physically searching up us. So you're telling the algorithm that's what you want to see. You then are showing the watch time, which is the full duration. So it shows you are engaged in the content. And then you're hitting that beautiful crosshair. You're smashing it right in the middle. You're pressing the down like, which means my content is conflicting. YouTube prefer conflicting content where it goes, some people like it, some people hate it, because what keeps people engaged? Things that go one of each way. So unless absolutely everyone on the stream don't like something, down liking actually doesn't affect anything. However, not doing anything at all, that does affect me. So do smash that like button. I notice, I can tell the streams when people aren't actively liking, because we don't get as much people in the stream. And then the videos for the next week are just tanking. And when my videos tank, my motivation goes. And then you'll see I won't be banging out 4 or 5 videos a day. So do jump in, smash the like button. Majority votes roll. And that's the thing. As soon as the majority is one way, it's great. Everyone must have jumped over to X when I crashed to see if it worked there, because now we have a heap of people watching on X. Thank you. Always, if a stream crashes, you can go between YouTube and X, and sometimes that can fix it. Guys, what other tickers do you want on the screen? Is there anything else I can improve that? Is there anything else you'd like? Would you like us to do live? I'm not even going to call it investing. We're going to call it trading. I'm not a trader, but we can do it. Because I know if we done live investing, it'd be boring. If we're just sitting there in Archer and Joby and sitting there waiting, sure, we all can do that. There's no point watching that, is there? But we can try and grow a portfolio together if that's something you'd really like to see. I know, I feel like some people watch them opening and closing shows. And I used to follow a guy for the opening and closing shows. But I feel like they're getting out of touch now. Do you know when the average retail investor has X amount? Once these guys start getting within the millions, it's less relatable, isn't it? Let me put up a new. Right, there. You'll help me out there. Do jump in. I need you to actually respond to that poll. Anyone on X, if you want us to do a live investing, opening, I'm not even going to call it opening and closing bell. Potentially, we could do the whole day while the stock market's opening. So if you're at work and you want to listen to us on a podcast, etc., you can watch us here and we can invest together. Let the community actually decide what we invest in, what we talk about, what we cover, what earnings calls we cover. And because there's 3 of us in the Hustle Brothers, we can actually expand out a little bit. So if half you guys want us to cover a earnings call and the other half want us to continue investing, one of us can do the earnings call while the other just does the regular day. Could be interesting, and I want to make it a little bit more different than your average opening and closing bell shows. So do jump in, let me know what you think. Not another clown with no. I love it. Who voted no? Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. This track. Oh, before I don't know, did I cover you before I went completely blank? So I don't know how long I went blank for. A big shout out for becoming a member. If there's anything you think we can do for members, feel free to let us know. And look, I want to thank anyone that has taken time out of their day to become a member. Well saddled, 1 hour summary, but who knows? I'll leave to everyone else. If you want a 1 hour summary of the market, we could do that too. There's nothing stopping me from doing it and then doing something like this after, where we can all talk together, etc. Race as well, we can laugh about bad decision of stock choices, kind of like FLWS. That's the thing. And the thing about me, I get passionate. So you'll see extreme ups and extreme downs. And I can fly off the handle. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it might be funny to watch. It's funny to watch, yeah, until you've made a nice bit of money and something goes wrong, isn't it? And imagine doing it live. I don't know. It could be an interesting one. What's the vote so far? 88% say yes. 12% say no. Right. Do you know what we'll do? Let me see this. How many of you have liked it? I like people who are intelligently negative. If they can tell me something that I missed in analyzing a stock, I want to know about it. And that's the thing. I love people trying to break down our thesis. It either makes your thesis stronger or it helps correct the thesis. You should always have a thesis on a stock, but you're never going to be 100% right. So, yeah, I agree with you. I'm in full agreement there. Right, 16 of you have liked the stream. If we can get it to 25 likes before the end of the stream, I might run one tomorrow then. We can go from opening bell. Don't take me wrong. I'm much that I love FL. Oh, flowers. Is that flowered shite? Sadly bought, but misery loves company. Is that flowers company? I remember that. I just jumped on. Are we buying more Archer? Anyone that bought Archer today, tasty opportunity. We seem to be bouncing back. It's like we keep sticking our head out to see can we go any lower, and we get back to that resistance level. Heavy resistance at $6. The scary thing about Horizon Aircraft now, we've broke that 180 resistance. So I think we can start moving quickly down, because that 180 is now going to act like a ceiling. Archer, we just need to maintain this 601. We need to maintain above this $6 range. Would be great to cover a trading day when we expect hype around the stock, like earnings calls or major milestones. We can start covering trading days. If it's something you guys want, we can start covering trading days Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday, how do we think? I closed the poll, but count me in on the live show. Okay. Let me know. Would you like it from opening to close? Would you like it opening and then close? Or would you like it just on big news days? Because big news days, that's all well and good, but if I haven't set that out in my day to do, I'm not going to lie, I could miss a big news day, and I'm not going to be here. By the way, guys, do you like my t-shirt, my Archer Aviation t-shirt? Yes, that's one that someone from another particular podcast program suggested. By any chance, was it Anthony? Because I was on that podcast, and I was warning them against it because I thought it just looked silly. But I don't know where it went. Let me have a look. Anyone that doesn't know, this is a flowers company. It's exactly what it says in the tin. What was it called? FL. Yeah, 1-800 flowers. Yeah, I remember it. I was on that podcast when he discovered it. Oh, you're not too bad. You're down 1% over the down 3% over the month. 3% over the week. Oh, 42%. Oh, I get you. So it smashed on earnings and then dropped like 40%. Oh, I get you. Open, then close. Okay. Yeah, it's an awesome shirt. Is Archer selling them on the website? No, I don't believe so. I think it's only Joby that has a merchandise website. Adam gave me this one. Wild Saddle says, Ray, can you elaborate on that one? Not sure what is meant by that. So let me bring up the chart here. I was on a podcast and they were talking about 1-800 flowers, and I said it just looked like a city company, and that is what their chart looked like, and I said I wouldn't touch it, and they beat EPS by 39% and just collapsed. I just don't like this trying to go in for easy money in some of these companies, and I am not a man for these micro market caps. Like, Horizon Aircraft interests me because it's in the eVTOL space, but I wouldn't jump in to a flower company. I really wouldn't. And that's no disrespect to any flower company, but is just not something that really excites me. Investments need to excite me. I think Anthony was missing his mother. That's why he chose flowers. It was something to do with Mother's Day, wasn't it? Was why he chose it. But I said, but what's the catalyst after Mother's Day? Mother's Day happens every year. So, I don't know. Looking forward to the eVTOL integrated pilot program in New York City later this year. We'll be there to watch whatever flies. Guys, whoever's in any of these cities, do let me know either on X or in the comments when you see these go live. And if you don't mind, if you could get a picture, I would love to put it up on the screen for everyone else to see. Oh, Rolly, I genuinely thought you said there that you bought into flowers for the crack. And I was like, you done so well yesterday with telling me what you were in. But no, for the crack, you bought 10 shares of Archer at $5.90. Makes me feel a bit better about the $12 shares I got a while ago. Do you know what? What was your average? $1.90 3 years ago? I think you can afford a few $12 mistakes in there. So, and it's not even mistakes. So, no, big shout. I appreciate that. $5.90. Some of you did get steal today, especially if we do hold that $6 range. Rhino Skin says open, closing out, everything in between. Am I wrong? I don't know many opening and closing shows that cover it in between. Now, it would be a big stretch, but it could be cool. And especially because with the new kids on the block when it comes to live streaming the opening and closing bells. Do you know what? I think now's the right time to go after a project like that. I feel like the experience we've gained over the last 2.5 years in this space, I think we could bring something a little bit different than the guys that started off with just opening and closing shows. But look, until we're actually in the hot water with them, I appreciate everything they do. C. Jernigan, another one of our members, big shout out. How are you getting on today? Did you get any decent buys? Kineas, have you done any more eVTOL streams, my guy? I actually haven't been. Look, I'm on YouTube every day, but I don't watch YouTube every day. So I do apologize. I haven't been keeping up to date, but do let me know and I will jump in. I'd be leery of flowers after the tulip grace. DJ Pookie Bear says, got work early in the morning. It was cool hanging out with you, Archer, to $100. If you're not at anything tomorrow while you're at work and you can listen, I might set it up so it's a podcast so people can listen to it, whether it's live like this and we can see the tickers, and I might even set up another trading account so we can maybe do a bit of live trading. I don't know. Or would it be better if... So it's going to be pretty boring, yeah? And I don't think many people would be interested if I just threw like $1,000 in it and said we're going to 100K or we're going to $1 million with that, because it will take a while to get it going. Do I wait and then get like 10K into a portfolio and do it then? Or would you prefer, I don't know, do let me know. And then would you like it primarily eVTOLs? Would you like it across the whole market? Max is getting really interested in the likes of battery tech and in the drones, but it would be quite interesting. One thing never talked about, imagine when the electric air vehicles go pilotless. I think quite a few of us talk about the autonomy, don't we? The price per ride drops dramatically and ICE vehicles are completely made obsolete. Smoke says, yeah, shirt is dope. I want that Archer jacket and hat. I can't wait for the jacket. That'd be a nice review. I've got a hat. Where is it? It's down there somewhere. Yeah, I've got a white Archer hat. Dylan has a black Archer hat. Dylan has a different t-shirt to me. Dylan has like a grey one that has Archer on it, and then he has a black hat. Mine looks fresh. Like the white looks really fresh, but the only problem is I can't wear it anywhere, because if I wear that on the farm, that's going to look brown pretty quickly. NI new eVTOL streams. I was going to do the basic. Oh, no new eVTOL streams. I was going to do the basic runway test Archer did this week, just zigzag. That would be interesting. I'd watch that. Ray says, I kind of get it about flowers. As a retired trucker, I used to pick up many loads of flowers. Seemed would have. Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like the boat has set sail with the flowers, and like the business is there, but how is the business going to grow? Like, there's only so many ways you can sell flowers. It's just not a company that excites me, and especially at 200 million. Don't get me wrong. If I had a flower business worth 200 million, I'd be on cloud 9, and I could get interested then, but yeah, nah. Moonshot, why don't you try to 10x any investment to start with? So what, like put, I don't know, 5k in, try and 10x it to 50k, and then just go from there, do you think? Could be interesting. I just don't want it to be boring. I don't want it to be like, see, there's two ways I could do it. If we started low, it shows that anyone can do it, and we can use it as a project together. So you can help me buy, sell, and we'll see how we can grow it. But the only thing is that it could be very boring at the start, and I don't want people to lose interest because one day you come on, it's $1,000. The next day you come on, it's $998. If you get me. 1k to start, just like Motley Fools would. I hate Motley Fools. You'll never see me sponsored by them because I've done so many, like, well, not so many. I've done a few like videos where I thought they were silly. Kenny said, "Oh, I've done that one." Moonshot says, "Yes." What's the mission of your live cast? You need something to guide the information that you're covering. What's my mission? Originally, when I started this channel, it was to show average retail investment. Look, I don't get on with the guy, but I did used to follow Martin Lucas. And I like the way he used to do it. I don't like how he does it now. Like, mate, are you here to learn about investing or here to learn about singing and pianos? If you get me. But like the mission statement of a business. Do you know what? Would I start treating the YouTube like a business? I probably should. I probably should, my guy. Guys, do smash that subscribe button. We're nearly at 5,000. We're under the 300 to go to 5,000. I think this will grow quick. And I think now that we are speaking about different stocks, we're going to get a lot more interest. But that's why I like building this with you guys, because we get to know you guys before anyone else swoops in. You're like the OGs. I've realized I haven't had your comments up on the screen for the stream. No one actually let me know what tickers do you want up on top of the screen. I've just put ones that I'm interested in, but some of you may be interested in other tickers. Do you want flowers up there? I couldn't be looking at that every day, trust me. If you really want it up there, I could. Rowley says first got into Archer at 190. I started Horizon at about the same price. History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. I like that saying. Red wire. There we go. That's an interesting one. Okay, let me start. What I'll do, I'll put them on a sheet, and I maybe before the end of the stream have all these up. I just don't want to be changing it one at a time, because that will probably crashed the stream. I think that was the problem when the whole stream froze. I tried to edit what it looked like. Redwire. Any other stocks that people are interested in? Wild Saddle says the Hustle brothers deliver clear, hype-free coverage of the eVTOL revolution, breaking down the tech, the companies, and the future of electric flight aviation is headed next, so everyone can understand where aviation is heading next. I don't want to get too bogged down in aviation at the same time. We're the specialists when it comes to, look, I've said specialists. We're the specialists though when it comes to the eVTOLs. However, that is not my only passion. I like the space sector. Like, there's so much we could do with this, and I don't want to just get pinned down with the eVTOLs. That's not saying we're stopping eVTOLs, but that wouldn't be my mission statement, if you get me. Wild Saddle says, beat a stock. I have beat up though, I'm pretty sure. I like stock symbol XRPN. Is that anything to do with XRP? Is that Ripple? I like a ticket of companies under $20 since it's an average price. People tend to look for a startup new companies. The only problem is I think people get a little bit fooled around prices. It's more to do with the market cap and less to do with the actual price. Like Nvidia forward split. So Nvidia went from, was it up near $1,000 or so, and then it came back down to $100. It's also the market cap. But I get what you mean. When people are first investing, they'd love to stick. They prefer to actually have the amount of stock. Dominic, what's your biggest investments? I'll just go around one by one, guys. What's your biggest investments? We'll see. What I would like to do is, what side are we? Yeah, here. Have a chart of the portfolio. Maybe move myself that way. I'm reverse ways. Move myself over that way. I can move chair a little bit, and then we can have the ticker. Yeah, Tesla. I think Tesla should be up there, my guy. Joby 3,000 WAF made 15k off Archer and Joby last year. You were doing it solid, my guy. Shares, that is. You're doing well. The Hustle Brothers spotlight the world's most innovative companies, from eVTOL pioneers to next generation of space ventures. By any chance you use an AI, or are you just really good at English? I'm trying to look at the top of the screen. Is Tesla up there? Put Tesla next to Archer. Okay, so you want Tesla next to Archer. Okay. We've got VU up there. Anyone that doesn't know, VU is Vanguard's S&P 500. Any other one, guys? We have Ondas up there. Unusual Machines is up there. Dave, just good luck. Yeah, if we can get some of that. Oh, do you see what post I put up on X yesterday? I was ready for people to come after me. I put, we need another rumor from Tesla and Archer just to push the stock higher. But to be fair, everyone took it as a joke. So I love it. XRP is the next Bretton Woods event, will be the next fiat country ecosystem or digital tokenization. Anyone invest in Bitcoin, we could put Bitcoin up there. I'm not wild about crypto. But yeah, look, XRP, you like XRP, so I can put XRP into it. No problem. Did I miss Tesla? I can put Tesla next to Archer Any other one? Planet Labs. There we go. For myself, I need Planet Labs in there. Anyone invest in EOS or Plug or Nvidia or Amazon? Meta? Oh, guys, do you hear about Meta? Meta poured 80 billion into the metaverse, and now they're discontinuing the metaverse. I have a VR set there, and they're getting rid of it. I was saying it is absolutely useless. I think I've used it like twice. You go into it, yeah, and it was meant to be this unbelievable thing. It's all bloody weirdos in it. I got banned within the first like 20 minutes for telling someone to. And yeah, I didn't like the metaverse. Meta year, I kind of saw that coming. XRP and eVTOLs are soon the future. The problem with XRP is how many coins there are in circulation. It takes a lot to move it, doesn't it? Now look, I'm not massive up on XRP. I used to be in XRP. It would have been first on the channel. Did I make money on it? Probably made like 1,000, 2,000 quid. I didn't make anything substantial in it. But I know some guys, like, I used to work with a guy who was wild about XRP. And he did make some significant money in XRP, but he did have a significant amount in it too. And I am just not brave enough to go anywhere near crypto and put that kind of money in crypto. It would just worry me. I wouldn't sleep at night. And I do like my sleep, you know. I would not be able to sleep. Like in Horizon Aircraft, I wouldn't overexpose myself in it because I just wouldn't be able to sleep knowing that it is such a retail holding. And it can be very choppy. We've explained what the problem is with vertical aerospace now. It's the lack of volume that is causing this complete capitulation now, because the institutes won't go in there. If they can't get out of it, they're not going to stick themselves in there. And because the institutes don't go in, retail ain't going to jump in because it's just selling off and it's just into a complete spiral now. The only way that vertical are going to go anywhere now is with investment or get bought out by Archer. I'd love to see it. Palantir. Palantir is a good one. Many of you invest in Palantir. Again, I wish I was, but I never got in. Smokes in Nvidia. Okay, I thought Nvidia had to be there because you can't do nothing without that juggernaut. Anyone in Apple or Microsoft? Could put them in. We could put the boring ones in, like.
Which contact or device do you want to call?
What is that? Kratos. Kratos, good one. Kratos. What else? Any other ones, guys? And would you like the ticker to spin faster, or is it going at a nice enough pace for you guys? Do let me know. Okay, so a live portfolio show. 92% of you say yes. 8% say no. So one twat says no. I beg the person that says no show themselves so I can ban you. I'm trying to say no because I missed that whole Iran-Israel thing yesterday while we were live. So I want to see what else is going on. Rock allows preparing an ESA mission. There's some absolute clowns on X, you know. I don't know how many people I've seen say they're like 19 or 20 and they have 200k invested. Is this good for this age? It's like, what are you expecting people to say? Anyone that says no is an absolute wally. Ray says, yes, I agree. I also avoid all those meme tokens. Yeah, a utility use case token that does. That's right. With a fiat stablecoin, it's another story. You should put the tickers in alphabetical order so I do not have to stare at it for several minutes. Would you prefer it in alphabetical order, guys? Right. Alphabetical order. That's coming up. So at the moment, we have Redwire, XRP. Ooh, Tesla next to Archer, or we have the alphabetical order. Do you want Tesla next to Archer, or do you want alphabetical order, guys? We then have Planet Lab, Palantir, Nvidia, Kratos. We've all our eVTOLs. Anyone want EHang in there? Could put EHang in there. Could be an interesting one. Guys, you're new here, smash that like button. Also, smash that subscribe button. Okay, we got another vote for yes. Looks like I'm doing a stock market show tomorrow. I'll see if I can get a portfolio set up by then. It could be a little bit hard because I have two, but we can see. And the one I was using before on this was races, and it was just a little bit difficult because if I get signed out, then I'd have to ring him, and when he's at work, it was just long. Alphabetical order is my vote. There's a lot of delusion when it comes to crypto. I agree. I was half joking, but yeah, unless you alphabeticalize. Okay. There we go. We'll go alphabetical order. So, look, do you know what? You guys are already helping the show. Then, for tomorrow, what I might do is put a chart up here and it can switch around so you can see what's happening throughout the day. That will then change to a Robinhood chart with the community investment in it. I'm undecided. Do I start with 1K? Do I start with 10K? I don't really want to put more than 10K in it because if someone absolutely wants to smoke me in this, it could be a long day. If I just put like 50K in it and someone just rinses me, I think I'll cry. At least if we made it together and then lost it together, that'd be different. What has happened there? Have Archer made an announcement? Oh no. Someone tagged me in something from October 22. I genuinely thought Archer made an announcement about the Olympics. HTGC. Right, what we can do, we can add as we go along as well. What else would make a opening and, well, no, I'm not even going to call it an opening and closing. I'm going to call it a market open show. What else would make a market open show interesting? What could we do that the other guys either do good, used to do good, or what would you like to see? I find the only thing that's getting a little bit frustrating, this is across the whole market open show, is there's a lot of watching bollocks, and I'm not about that. I don't want to be watching clowns just because someone has paid them to watch it. I want to make it interesting. I want to make it fun. I want to make it more engaging, exciting. Can add a major in. So do you want one bigger than, or not bigger than, but another one in addition to the S&P? So VU is in there, but we could put the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ in there if you want. You can put Cafe Woods Eric Invest. I know that would get people talking. What else, guys? Anything? Also, smash that like button, please. It really helps me out. Especially if I'm going to do a market open show. I need your help. And if you haven't, do follow me on X. I'd really help out. Dang, we'll look at HTGC. Opening news stories about the industry and your spin on it. Okay. Yeah. More than 12% dividend payout. You love them dividends lately, don't you? Did they definitely pay it out at 12%? Because it sounds high. Do let me know. Yeah, look, I'm looking across. That's for HTGC, 12% dividend. I find it interesting. Without dividend. Okay. I can have a look at them. Do you know what? Guys, come with a list tomorrow for me that you want us to review. We can actually review them live. But look, we're looking at 1:45 in the morning here. If I'm going to get up for a market opening show, I better jump off. So what you can do for me, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Share it around. We're going to be doing a market opening show. I'll put up a thumbnail now. And then jump across to X and follow me. You can see it right down there. It is the Hustle Bros YT. That is on X. You'll see me commenting over back and forth towards people. It gets funny some days. It can be boring other days, but yeah, that's what it is. Right, guys, thank you so much for everything. Thanks for the great chat, Moonshot. And yeah, hopefully we can make it better and hopefully no more streams crashing in the middle of the stream. So, right, guys, until market opening, we'll see you then.